Sup howdy, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to another art with me. I'm thinking of making this a Wednesday special to sit down and draw or paint with you. So if this is something you'd like to see more of, then make sure to give this a like and comment down below. Today I'm going to be painting with acrylic. I'd like to call it a painting concept sketch, quote unquote, because I've been making a couple of these small paintings for a body of work that I've been interested in and I want to pursue. So today I'm painting another one of those concept sketches, and I hope that it's satisfying to watch, especially because I'm not doing any figure drawing. But if you have any art that you need to work on or anything you need to do, feel free to sit alongside me and make whilst I chit chat with you. So today I decided to reflect on my varsity experience so far because life has been a total blur this year, and it only hit me by the surprise that last Friday was my last day, school day, as a third-year college student before exams, which means that my next proper school day with classes will be in my final year at university. And yeah, I'm still a kid. I can't be going to final year next year. Like I can't wrap my head around that concept. It's crazy to think that next year will be my last year and then I graduate in 2024, technically 2023, but I feel like life went just so fast. I still remember being in high school. I still remember starting this channel in my first year of university, and now I'm finishing my third. So I think, especially because I documented my experience from the beginning of this experience, I'd like to, reflect on it. I feel like I said experience way too many times, but anyway. But although I still have these exams to go through, I still, wanted to reflect on the year, and more so the changes I felt compared to when I started my final studies, but more so reflecting on third year itself. Maybe this reflection will be insightful for you guys to think about when pursuing art degrees or going into university in general, but this is basically me gossiping about my own life, so please don't take anything as like the pinnacle of truth when I speak. But I just wanted to reflect on this whole year as a whole and just process what has happened, what I enjoyed, what I didn't enjoy, and also looking forward and on to my fourth year. But luckily this year has had some of the best moments, but it also has had some of the worst moments, I'd say, of my life. And if I were to describe this year in one word, I think it would be bittersweet. And this definitely applies to my art and art practice, and I think I have been quite transparent on it here whenever I speak about my art experience this year, especially because I made a whole video previously. If you haven't watched it, eye up above, but I made a whole video about it and talked about it in the previous videos. But this year was when I experienced the worst amount of burnout I have ever faced before. I'm still in burnout. I feel like it's just been this whole year. Actually, it started the end of last year, I'd say. Actually can't even remember, but it did affect me holistically, but also my art. Like, I only realized now that my memory has suffered, and I didn't think that it would be something that like affects me that much. Like, I've heard of people having memory loss or like some memory patches, like where there's just some patches that they just can't remember, and I was just like, that's crazy, but I didn't think it would happen to me. But I just realized that like my memory has dwindled a bit, and alongside that my attention span has like shrunk. But I feel like all of us as a collective whole, our attention spans have just degraded, especially because of this like instant gratification of online and our phones and all of that stuff. As stereotypical and cringy as that sounds, it's completely true. But so much has like changed intrinsically, if that's the word to use, but it also has affected my art and how I make art holistically. This year I hit way too many dry spells, quote unquote, and rough patches where I was thinking like, dude, am I even making art at this point? Why am I here? Was I ever an artist in the first place? Am I a fraud? Like, how was I able to paint so much or make so much XYZ time ago? Now I don't even make anything. Like, how am I even an artist? Am I even a real artist? You know, all of these questions. And I know it sounds like exaggeratory or like melodramatic, but it was honestly like, whenever I'm having like a freak out or like a I don't know, a mini crisis where I'm just like, what the heck am I doing? These questions pop up more often than I'd like to admit. So yeah, especially because this year I made very few solo/independent works outside of school that I wanted to. I really did want to make a lot of the own pieces outside of my school projects because I still wanted to build on my body of work, that I can build my portfolio, and also to hopefully get into like some sort of exhibitions or competitions that I can use to submit, or just to showcase in general with other people, maybe sell, I don't know. But also because I felt like I had to make my art in a certain way in school and in my projects here, and that kind of restricted me because there was like a set theme and mode of working that I had to align with as an artist, because my work at school is formed part of a series, so building on that series is quite limited because it already had like a starting point and is forming an endpoint, if that makes sense. So I wanted to make solo projects outside of that so I can still have free reign and creative control without having to stick to some sort of way, especially because my lecturers have gotten used to me working in a specific kind of way. And for context, at school I actually work a lot with installation, which I never thought I would end up to be, in all honesty. I still remember in high school I predominantly painted and drew. My matric works were a lot more installation-y, but they weren't like full-blown installations. My last matric work was a painting with a sonic and textural element, but it didn't take up a lot of space, if that makes sense. So I didn't think I was going to be a full-blown installation artist. I liked the fact of using different elements, but I didn't think it was going to be as installation-y as I am right now. Like, my mid-year exam was completely installation. Of course it had like video elements and other stuff, but it was in an installation format, and it's the same for this year's exam, which is exciting. I think it's great, but I don't want to stick to only having installations, especially in creating a body of work, because it's hard to document that and keep it, because I can't keep an installation as is. I always have to take it down, and then I don't really have my artwork in its original form. It's all in boxes, and I just didn't like that. I don't like that I have to take down my art every single time and then it sort of like disappears until I set it up again, and then it takes a different form. So I did want to do that, but then I just didn't make a lot at all. I didn't have the time to. Only now, especially with this video alone, I am painting more, but I think it's because I have a lot more time as I prepare for my exams, which start in a couple weeks or next week. Actually, you know what? Let me not pretend like I know what's going on. It sucked because also in making, like, doing these small projects, it reminds me of why I like making art sometimes, especially doing this painting right here. I just enjoy the feeling of painting, and just like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, all artists, you can relate. It just makes you happy or makes you content. I don't know. It's just getting into a groove. It's just something that I really like enjoying. And at school, I started to lose that feeling of joy making. Sometimes I would, but it's such a weird structure at school because there are deadlines. There's also like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a lot of confinements that kind of strip that fun away. But I did try like small projects, like really small projects, because I did not have a lot of time this year. I was always at a loss for time. So I tried very, very small projects just to have some sort of a creative process in my art and life every day. but it just did not feel the same as the thrill of making bigger projects. And it didn't have to be extremely big. It could be like this, what I'm making here, or the sketch that I made last week, you know. But the small projects would be like to draw something very small for 2 minutes, or color in a coloring book or a coloring card or something like that. Like these small moments, and I'm really grateful for them, because when I did stick to doing that on a daily basis, it really did help, and it was therapeutic in a way. But it wasn't the same as making a drawing, or like making a full-fledged piece of art or something. I don't know how to explain it. Or doing it in a way where I'm not doing it as a to-do list or like a task. Doing it because I love doing it and I'm excited to do it, you know? Not because I know if I don't do something now, I won't have time to at the end of the day. So yeah, I don't know. And one of my resolutions was to apply for more art competitions, but I didn't get to, because once again I was at a loss for time, and it was just a weird space of limbo where I didn't really get to do much, and I just thought that I didn't have a lot of art to show, especially because my art style has changed a bit coming into university. I felt like I didn't really have a lot of physical art to showcase or to submit in the competitions, because I hadn't built my body of work, which was very stressful. And you know, I don't know, it was kind of just not disappointing, but I just wanted to be able to show my art somewhere. I luckily was able to, and I will talk about that later on in the video. Yeah, just not being able to say that I have a body of work was also a damp. But while saying this, I'm also just trying to remind myself that like I'm still young. People build their bodies of work over decades, you know? So I have time, but I felt like I didn't use my time well this year. Or at least that was just one of my nagging thoughts. Yeah, I don't know. And I just not being able to like work on my art as much, it affected me a lot more than I thought. I think I mentioned it before, but there was a time or a period in time where I'd look at my art materials, because I have a bunch of paintbrushes on my table, or like my paint tubes and my charcoals in the storage boxes underneath my desk, and I'd look at them and like I'd tear up and I cry. And I know that sounds like such a crybaby, and I will admit it doesn't take that much to make me cry, but I didn't realize how much it affected me that I did not make art. And that might sound wishy-washy if you're not an artist, or you're like, girl, you're just making this your personality trait, it's not that deep. Trust me, I thought it wasn't that deep. So when I was like busy tearing up, I was like, dude, why am I crying? Damn. And then I just remembered like the little girl in me that always wanted to grow up and have her own art studio and just like paint in the forest, you know? And just like that this girl is like making the steps to get to that dream, but it's also like hit a rough patch. I don't know how to explain it. I just like really, there were times where I was just like, I would do anything in the world to just like quit all my prior engagements or plans for the day and just like sit in and draw, make, edit a video, paint, do whatever, because that's what like I just wanted to do, but I couldn't. But alongside that, I felt like because of the burnout I had also lost a bit of the passion I had for art in between. And I thought this was my passion in general for art, but I realized, like I mentioned earlier, it was due to the art I made in school, not in general. Yeah, it was just like being burnt out made me numb to feeling anything exciting or passionate. Everything just felt like go with the flow, go with the motions, you know? Like the art I was making at school, yes, I would get excited at some times, but everything just felt numb. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Maybe if you've been burnt out before, then you understand the feeling, but I didn't get to feel any feelings that I was supposed to feel this year, especially towards my art, and losing that passion. And then I was just like, okay, if I don't have that like fire in me, will I actually stick with art in the future, or am I just gonna be one of those people that changes career paths, you know? But let it be known that that's just a side effect of burnout. I don't think I'll ever lose my passion for creating, as cliche as I found. I'm trying not to make this sound like I'm being cliche. I'm trying my best, but I don't think it's working. But anyway, that was a lot of like damp, dark, meh. Let's get on to the sweet side of bittersweet. This year also was chock-block full of new experiences and memories that I've made that has just been like so exciting and incredible and like I don't even know how to explain. Like, if you had asked 2021 me, I wouldn't have believed you that some of the things that have happened this year would happen, and that I would be able to experience the things I have. For example, the memories I've made, the places I've gone to a lot of different places and have had like stereotypical college life experiences. I don't know how else to explain it, but like experiences that stick with you forever. And it doesn't have to be something extremely exciting, but it's just like going out with friends, you know, I don't know, bonding with each other, just all these different moments in time and making them. It's just the small things or the big things that have happened that have just like shifted out every negative thing that I just talked about and made it all worth it this year. I have okay, this is a side of art, but like I've reached a lot of like my New Year's resolutions or like little goals that I have that I didn't think I would be able to. Like, for example, I'm still making YouTube videos, and next year is gonna be my 3rd year of making YouTube videos, which is insane. And being able to hit 500 subscribers this year, we're at 730 the last time I checked. We're close to 1,000, and I didn't think that would be possible. I didn't think I'd make it this far, but I'm still doing this, and I'm still loving making videos. In fact, sometimes I laugh, or not even sometimes, every time I laugh at myself whenever I record. I think I'm hilarious. I'm so sorry for saying that out loud, but it's just so fun making these videos. And also just being able to be more confident in myself as an artist and talk about it in such a comfortable way, because I feel so like secure in my identity. Like, me? Since when? How was that gonna happen? But it did. And also being able to showcase my art in an exhibition during the year. I forgot which month that was actually. Was that July or August? I think August. That was a huge thing for me because it was the first in-person exhibition that I was featured in this year. And I can't think of a lot off the top of my head, but there was just a lot of things I was able to do, a lot of food that I was able to taste, a lot of music I was able to hear, a lot of things I was able to see, experience, agree with, disagree with. Yeah, it's just been such a fun time. And also just the life lessons that I have learned along the way this year, at school, outside of school. Some of the things that like has been written into my journal prompts time and time again, because I need to reaffirm them. But stuff like, you know, understanding what is an actual real friendship and who are the kinds of people you need to keep in your life, who are the kinds of people you need to distance yourself from, for self-preservation, and also just to build each other up. And that's such an important thing, especially in university, because your college friends are your life friends. That's what people told me all the time. But you know, the friends you make here can be some of your lifelong friends. So finding those kind of people and being that kind of person to other people is a very important lesson I learned. Another thing is setting boundaries. Like, it's not even an internet buzzword. Boundaries are absolutely necessary. And as someone who has never been able to say no, learning this lesson came very hard because it was learning through experience, learning the hard way. But you know, I'm still appreciative because I learned, you know, setting boundaries, things that you tolerate and things that you won't tolerate, and it doesn't make you a bad person for having those boundaries. It makes you someone that values yourself, you know, puts your needs as a priority, because we need to do that to function in this society. But all of the stuff that I have learned this year has been very, very crucial to my development as a person, and I feel like I'm growing up, which is so scary, but also in a way that's exciting. So even though this year was bitter, there were some sweet moments that I cherish, and some of the ones I was able to share with you through my vlogs, through the videos I've made and enjoyed making this year, which has been so exciting, and some of the stuff behind the scenes, you know. So whether this year in school was like challenging or whatever, or not in school was challenging or whatever, I hope there's still the moments that you can reflect on. And looking forward to next year, I am excited to just push forward with my art and not to feel confined to the boundaries I set myself, or not the boundaries, but like the restrictions I set myself that I spoke about earlier, because I do want to just push so freaking hard next year, because it's my final year in my undergrad before I do whatever I want to do after that. I haven't thought that far. I didn't even think this far, to be honest, but I'm excited to just like go all out. And I think after my exams, I'm excited to rest, because a girl is tired. This year was so long. It is one of the longest years ever. And yes, I know years are pretty much the same length, but this one was just long long and tiring. So I need a rest, and you need a rest. So I hope you get the rest you need, and good luck for the exams. If you are writing right now or soon, you got this. It'll be fine. Whatever happens, meant to be, and you will get through this. I hope you get the time to rest and create and enjoy creating. But I'm just gonna stop rambling now, because I have been talking non-stop for 22 minutes, and I'm pretty sure you're sick of my voice right now, but this is what I made. I hope you enjoy it. I think this is a body of work that I am excited to pursue, because it just feels very me. I don't know how else to explain it, but I hope you enjoy it. And thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, like. If you like, please subscribe, comment down below, all that fun jazz. Until then.